Hey guys, hopefully you can hear me okay. Kids are napping right now. I gotta be kind of quiet. Gracie's right in the other room. I'm gonna share some of my biggest pet peeves when it comes to be chronically ill. One of them is when people say,
"You don't look sick."
Of course, not everybody's gonna mean that in a mean way. But think about it. I mean, what the hell is sick supposed to look like? Am I supposed to be running around with oxygen in my face, or am I supposed to be in a hospital bed? Am I supposed to be missing limbs? Tell me, what am I supposed to look like? A lot of people view sick as a temporary thing, but when you're chronically ill, that's not the case. And yes, I know it's not terminal, we're not going to die from it, but there's no cure for it. It's one hell of a life to live with. 2, I can't stand it when people say,
"Oh, have you tried this?" And usually it's something like, "My friend's grandpa's friend tried this crazy thing and they are all cured."
I appreciate the thought, but we're the ones living with the disease of it. If there's a cure out there, we're gonna know before anybody else. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure there's lots of misdiagnosis with it. I mean, there's people that'll say within one day they've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia or whatever other kind of chronic invisible disease. Yeah, I can understand that adding to the stigma of it all, but it's a real disease. People are living with this every second of their life. Yes, you can eat better. That does help a lot. I've made many changes that way, and I definitely can tell when I eat something wrong, but it does not make it go away.
You have to be more positive.
Well, no, of course, we gotta be more positive, but you also gotta remember that we are only human, and we're gonna have our down days too.
Just push through it.
They say, you know how much you have to push through just to put a smile on your face? Just to get out of bed every morning? Just to do the littlest things that so many people take for granted. That takes a whole lot of energy and a whole lot of positivity and a whole lot of pushing through to do.
Well, come on, you did this last time, or you did this yesterday.
That's the problem, and I understand it being confusing, but having a chronic illness is a roller coaster. It's up and down. If you see us out and about, most likely we are feeling better, or we have a doctor appointment that we already canceled 3 times in a row and they said we have to come in, or maybe because when we're out and about we are doing everything we can to keep it together to make us look as normal as possible. Do you think we want to stand out here with like a sign over our head saying chronically ill, chronically ill? No, we don't want that. We want to blend in as much as we can. And we don't want everybody to know we're struggling. We don't want pity. We just want a little bit of understanding. I'll tell you,
"Oh, I wish I didn't have to work," or "I wish I could take a nap."
you know how bad I wish and we wish that we could go out to work? You know how bad I become jealous because I want to have a nice normal body again? We'll stop there. When someone's dealing with chronic pain, it's not always just pain. It's a whole list of things, a list that would make your head spin because there's so many different things, and the severities are different. The symptoms can be different. I think that's why it's so hard to get the right diagnosis too. Migraines, or the sensitivity to light, to sound, to smell, it can vary big time one person to another. And a lot of times when a person has a chronic illness, it's not just one. Like many have an autoimmune disease to go along with it. That means I don't have a strong immune system. It's like your immune system is attacking itself. And so I can get sick very super easy, just like that. It's almost like you're sick with the flu. Really achy, hot flashes from the fever, energy at all. You feel really fatigued, exhausted. You're not thinking very positive. Your mind is just stuck on being on the flu because you just feel that awful. That's what it's like having a chronic illness for many. And if you get sick on top of that, it's way worse. It's a lot harder than you would think. And I shouldn't call it so much of a pet peeve, but it can get on my nerves sometimes.
People say, "Oh, you look great," like insinuating that I'm healed. That goes along with the other pet peeve.
It's a yo-yo. Like, some days I do feel great. I can run around with the kids, we can go for a long bike ride, whatever. But whatever I decide to do, I'm going to be paying for it. I could be just exhausted, needing to take naps for a week. I'd be achy all over, more than usual, or it can cause a flare-up, which is the worst. At me, do I look sick? Yeah, I look kind of crappy, but I don't have any makeup on. I'm looking in a viewfinder. I don't know if you can see it, but I have what they call a lupus butterfly rash, and it's like really hot. It makes your face feel like it's sunburnt. It comes and goes whenever it wants, but usually when I do simple things like today, making the bed and starting laundry. I mean, how pathetic is that?
People sit there and say, oh, I wish I could be home all day.
I imagine you want to feel this way. You want to feel closed in from society. You want to feel like the oddball, the one that's always has to be strong, and sorry, battery died, I had to re-plug it in. Anyways, what I'm getting at is, I understand that there's real hypochondriacs out there. I get that. I understand that some people play up to be sick, but there are people, 99% of them, that are really living this stuff. And it is very hard. It is very hard knowing that you're gonna hurt like this 24/7, and that the only pain if it's not waking you up, it's so peaceful to get some sleep, because it's the only time you're not gonna hurt. So it makes people very suicidal. I mean, which is understandable. I mean, think about it. Just hurting all the time. It gets depressing, and some people think that you're depressed, and maybe that's why you're hurting. No, you tell me, are you gonna be happy if you're hurting all the time, 24/7, and that your brain is so foggy? Like, I'll be driving somewhere and I'll totally forget where I'm going. Like, what the hell? How does that make sense? Or when people say, maybe you need to lose some weight. Chronic illness does not discriminate. It doesn't matter your size. It doesn't matter your age. Like, I get, well, you're too young to be sick. It doesn't discriminate age, what color you are, where you come from. It doesn't matter. I first started being tested when I was 18. And you know how long it takes to get many people to see a doctor? Because you're feeling all these weird pains, and your mind isn't right, and you feel so fatigued. It literally feels like a truck runs you over. In your mind, it's like something's not right here, and you almost feel crazy. So it takes a lot of nerve and a lot of bravery to get into a doctor, start being tested. So before you judge people, really, really do your research. Be informed, because you're gonna look like a fool. I mean, fibromyalgia mimics a lot of other diseases. Some things could really, really hurt you over time that mimic fibromyalgia, like Lyme's disease. That's why it takes on average 3 to 5 years to be diagnosed. The doctor has to rule out rheumatoid arthritis, MS. There's a list of, that's not just fibromyalgia too, that's chronic fatigue syndrome, ME. Try to be understanding. I get that you can't get it. You're never gonna fully understand unless you live with this. Words do hurt. Things like, I understand you can't come out with me today. You're having a bad day. Give me a call, or I'll check up on you, and we'll go out another day when you're feeling better. We don't have this Fibro calendar coming out and saying, oh, you're gonna be down these days. These days are gonna be awesome for you to come out. I actually had a job that asked me that. That's no joke. And know that when we spend time with you, it must mean something to us, because whatever that we are gonna do, we're probably gonna pay for it later. I'll end it here, although I have many other things I could say. Today was quite a crappy day, to be honest with you. This was all a last minute thing, and I just felt I had to share. And if you're chronically ill, having a hard time sharing with others that you are, or expressing to them how hard it is, maybe just share this video or sit down, have a one-on-one, and if they don't believe you, you could say, well, if you have any questions, I'll be more than happy to share, or if you'd like some more info, I'll give you some. Just know that whatever happens, whatever your friend, family, loved one would say, at the end of the day, all that matters is that you know the truth, and you know what you're feeling, and you know what you do to put a smile on your face every day. And some people you might just have to cut out, and if that is very hard, you also learn many great things along the journey too, like who's really there for you. And since I've been on YouTube, I have some of the greatest friends on here. I call them my Spoonie family. I'm sure some of you are watching this even know who you are. Just remember that. Alright, well that's it for now. Let me know if you want part 2. Remember, thumbs up this video if you found it helpful. Like it. I'm gonna take some people in the description box, so you have to look in there. See what everyone has to say. If you want a part 2, let me know, and I'll make another one. Hopefully the dryer isn't too loud. Once you hear a bunch of noise, that's what it is. So thanks a bunch for taking a part out of your day to listen to me. If you're not chronically ill, thank you. And I hope you learned a piece of something from this. And if you have any questions, comment below and let me know, and I'll do everything I can help. All of my chronically ill spoonies out there, I love you, and hold on tight, and remember, you're never alone. Thanks, guys.